Today's video I'm reviewing the Vacmaster 20 litre wet and dry vacuum cleaner. Now this is a machine I've had now for a number of months, and I bought it as a garage vacuum cleaner to clean the garage that I'm filming in here, as well as looking after my van and using it as a dust extraction unit for my power tools when I'm doing a little bit of woodwork. When I was doing a bit of research, I came across this machine, and the thing that really caught my attention was the twin HEPA filtration, which is kind of like the gold standard of filtration. You have a main cartridge filter that goes in the center of the machine, as well as a pre-filter, which I'd recommend using. It helps prolong the life of the machine. I also run a bag on here as well, which acts as another bit of filtration as well. And then you have another filter at the exhaust of the machine as well. The two HEPA filters combined give the machine a L-class filtration rating, which from my understanding is pretty decent, and was something that I was quite keen to have. The garage that I'm filming in here backs onto a lane that's got sort of all sorts of stuff in the makeup of the gravel surface, so I wanted to make sure that none of that was coming back into the atmosphere when I was hoovering. And that applies to when you're doing things like DIY and plaster dust. All of the things are not particularly good for you. The machine is rated at 1600 watts, which makes it a pretty powerful machine, and it does show it is very capable of sucking up anything from large gravel to sort of fine dust, so it's been perfect for the garage that I'm in and the things that I use it for. Also, it's got a nice chunky hose which gives it a good capacity to suck up things like leaves which get into the garage, which often sort of smaller hosed vacuum cleaners kind of struggle with, but this thing has no problem at all. It also has a good selection of attachments and tools to allow you to use the machine for multiple functions. You've got a couple of metal poles that clip together to give you sort of more of a long reach sort of effect vacuum cleaner, like a Henry or something, as well as sort of detailed attachments. And you've got a floor attachment which I really like. It's got little wheels on, works perfectly on this concrete surface, and a little plastic brush attachment I use on the plastics in my van, and that works really well as well. And they're all kept on the machine here. You can store pretty much all of the tools on here. You can also wrap the hose round. For convenience, I tend to store the hose elsewhere because it makes the machine quite big and a bit cumbersome, but it is possible to keep all of the tools in one place. It does make it a little bit, as I say, cumbersome, and some of the tools I don't feel fit that well into the assigned spaces that they have, and you can keep the hose on there as well, though the little Velcro hook that kept it wrapped up did break within 5 minutes of having it, so I've just put a bit of wire on there, but there we go. It weighs between 7.5 and 9.2 kilos, depending on what information you read on the machine, but it doesn't feel heavy. You've got wheels as well and a carry handle, so it's very easy to maneuver it around. You've got a good length cable, and the hose as well is really long, nice and strong, so you've got plenty of range when using the tool. It's a double garage here, and you can just use it from one plug socket, and you can do the whole thing with the cable and the hose, which is absolutely perfect. Using the machine, I've been impressed by how quiet it is. It's not to say that doesn't make a fair racket, but compared to a lot of vacuum cleaners which are just like deafening, this one is on the quieter side, and is useful if you don't want to disturb the neighbours and you want to do a bit of early vacuum cleaning. Whatever you're using it in terms of vacuum cleaning, I've been really impressed by it. Using it for the car is very useful. It's powerful and sucks up all the gravel and gunk that gets stuck in there, and you've got some of those finer tools just to detail it as well, so it's perfect for looking after a car. And for the garage, it's perfect. The roller attachment works really well and covers a good area, sucks up everything, leaves included. So a very practical tool for a large space. Now, it is a wet and dry machine, but I haven't actually used it in the wet function, but no doubt that it would work perfectly fine. But I have used the dust extraction on it, and this is a great feature. It's often you find it on much more expensive machines, so it's nice to see it on a machine that's only 120 quid. And what it does is you plug your power tool onto it, and then you run the tool as you would normally do, sucking up. There's a spider. There's just a spider down there. Anyway, and then it will run for an extra 5 seconds once you power down the machine, just to make sure it sucked up all of that dust. And it was another reason that sort of swayed me to try out this machine. As I mentioned earlier, I do run it with a bag. I have found that it is a little bit fiddly to get the best out of that functionality. Because it's got this sock and grate HEPA filter in the middle of it, though it's 20 litres in size, the capacity of the bag is nowhere near that, and it has to fit around that cylinder. It can be a bit awkward, and you'll find that maybe the bag doesn't fill up fully, so you might not be getting the full amount out of the bag that you could do. Overall, I've been impressed by the build quality and sort of overall quality of the machine. All of the plastics feel nice and strong and solid. Apart from that little bit of Velcro that broke, nothing's broken, not that I'd expect to in this amount of time, but it all feels nice and solid. As a functioning vacuum cleaner for outside sort of garage use, building work and things like that, I think it's a really, really worthwhile investment, particularly for that price point. It's a very capable machine that gives you a lot of functionality for a very reasonable price. I will leave a link to it in the description if you want to check it out for yourselves. And if you've got any questions about it, drop them in the comment section and I'll get back to you. If you like the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Maybe consider subscribing for more videos like this. And that just leaves me to say, thanks again for watching. Bye for now.